In this lecture, we're going to add more headers to the style.css file. Technically, we could move on to adding the template. However, we should be professional. I don't think it would be a good look to only have the name appear on WordPress. We should add more information. Let's switch over to our editors. We're going to continue working inside the style.css file. Before you move further, I recommend pointing your editor to the Udemy theme folder. I've already done that before starting this lecture. We're not going to need to view the other files in WordPress. Our focus will be on the theme for the rest of this section. Pause the video if you need to. Once you've got that done, let's begin adding file headers. Inside the style.css file, we're going to add another property called theme URI. The value for this property should be the URL for the theme. Normally, developers will point to a URL where the theme can be downloaded or bought. We're not going to be selling this theme. Therefore, we'll set the URL to udemy.com. Up next, we need to provide the name of the author with the author property. The author is the creator of the theme. If you're on a team, you may put the name of your team. I'm going to set this option to Udemy. Afterward, we have the author URI property. This property should be set to the author's site. I'm going to set this property to the following URL, https://udemy.com. Let's add a description by adding a property called description. The description for your theme should be short and concise. I'll write the following description of our theme, a simple WordPress theme. The next property is called tags. We have the option of uploading our theme to the official repository of themes on WordPress. We can help users find our theme by defining a list of tags. Tags are words or phrases we can associate with our theme. Each tag is separated with a comma. If you plan on uploading your theme to WordPress.org, this piece of information is important. We won't be uploading this theme to WordPress. It's safe to exclude this header property. Moving along, the version property is the current version of this theme. This option should be regularly updated whenever your theme receives updates. We're creating a brand new theme. The version number will be set to 1.0. Next, we have the requires at least property. We're allowed to set the minimum WordPress version. You may want to set this option if your theme requires newer features of WordPress. If someone attempts to install our theme with an incompatible version of WordPress, an error will be thrown at them. We'll leave this option at 5.9. Subsequently, we have the tested up to property. This option will let the user know which version of WordPress the theme was tested on. We should always set this property to the latest version. It'll assure users the theme is compatible with the latest version of WordPress. We're going to set this option to the current version of WordPress we have installed in our environment. You can refer to local for the current version. Up next, we have the requires PHP property. As we've learned, WordPress is compatible with older versions of PHP, such as version 5.6. This property should be set to the minimum PHP version required for a theme to be functional. Everything we write will be compatible with versions 8 and up. WordPress will throw an error if the theme is installed on an older version of PHP. The next two properties are called license and license URI. It's optional to add these properties. Typically, developers will use the GNU license, which is the same license used by WordPress. I recommend consulting with a lawyer for the best possible license for your theme. There's a lot of information online about licenses. Since we're not going to be making this theme public, we are not going to add these file headers. The last property is called text domain. The text domain is very important in regards to translations. You can think of the text domain as a unique ID for our translations. It's common practice to set the text domain to the same name as your folder. In our case, we're going to set it to Udemy. Translating a theme and plugin is a topic we'll cover in a separate section. Don't worry if you don't fully understand what this setting is for. The first step for translating a theme is to set the text domain property in the file header. It'll help WordPress identify our translations. That does it for the file header. After the file header, we have complete liberty to add additional information. WordPress will not grab this information. You can write gibberish if you'd like. Typically, developers like to add notes for other devs who might need to extend the theme. WordPress will not bother scanning this part of the file. We're finished. Let's refresh the admin dashboard. We can click on the theme again. This time, WordPress is displaying the information from our file header. It was able to scan the style.css file, extract information, and display it. As you can tell so far, WordPress handles a lot for us. There's one last thing I want to do before I end this lecture. While not required, WordPress will search for a file called screenshot.png. The image should provide a preview of your theme. Alternatively, you can display the name of the theme. It's completely up to you. In the resource section, I provide a screenshot you can use for our theme. Download it. After downloading the image, let's upload it to the Udemy theme directory. Lastly, refresh the page. The box for the theme will show the image. Perfect. The image should be a screenshot of your theme, but an image with a logo works too. The recommended dimensions of your image should be 1200 by 900. It's the recommended size by WordPress. The name of the file should be called screenshot.png. Let's recap what we've learned. WordPress will retrieve a list of themes installed in our app. Themes must be defined in the WP Content/Themes folder. Each theme should have its own folder. WordPress will search for a file called style.css. It'll scan and extract the contents of the file. The information in the header will be presented to the user. That's about it. In the next lecture, we'll continue developing our theme.